Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of When the Bell Rings. This is a podcast where we talk about life outside and inside of school. And in today's episode, we are actually going to be talking about our experiences and our mistakes going into and in high school since we just graduated. My name is Aaron, and I am with.
My name is Farrell.
Yeah. How enthusiastic. All right, so we are going to be talking about things that happened in high school, lessons that we learned, and the mistakes that we all have experiences, especially the both of us. And you want to go first, bro?
Yeah, well, just to get this started off, first of all, be a good host. Hello, what is your name? And no, I'm just kidding. Um, how
Bro,
have you been doing? How
we
how have you been coping up with having no graduation? Like, well, not no physical
bro,
graduation, but literally.
can I just say that the
Yeah,
John Bound graduation was so badonkadonk. It was so garbanzo beans, bro. It was so garbage.
garbanzo beans.
I mean,
It was garbanzo
it was
beans.
garbanzo beans because if you guys don't know, we had a virtual graduation and it was basically everything was on YouTube and they basically just played videos and it was all good, but it was the fact that it started late. That's the number one thing that pisses me off. And the second thing is, you know how when they were announcing the graduates and the candidates for graduation, they had no music. Like it was just speaking. It
Just
was
names. Yeah.
it was sort of like Farrell Hakim, and then just 5 to 10 seconds of silence, and then they move on to the next person, and then just 5 to 10
Ronel
seconds.
Cortez.
Exactly. There was nothing. It was nothing exciting. It would have been so better if they would have.
Honestly,
Yeah.
the first thing that really caught my eye was what you were talking about, how it was like not on time. I expected it to be on time, because it's a graduation. That just shows you that how
Bound is
okay
garbage.
everything is. Yeah, this is
How bound
garbanzo
is.
beans. We can't say garbage. It's garbanzo beans.
It's a garbanzo beans. All right.
But
So
yeah,
yeah, class of 2020, we made it. I know, and
congratulations to everyone who
congratulations to
made it
everyone.
as well.
And to everyone who is going into high school or starting a new semester. This is. I hope that in this episode, the information and the lessons that we are about to discuss may be of use to you. I actually wrote an article today about my mistakes in high school, and that will be up on my website soon. And
Wow,
so, yeah.
you've been a busy bee.
Yeah, bro.
I don't even know you had a blog or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I saw a lot of though? What is it, like Minecraft kind of 2020 graduation stuff, or like Roblox or something. I think that was kind of bizarre to me how people can actually like go into an online game and actually have a graduation and like a whole like performance and like
Yeah,
a whole
that
event.
actually would have been fire, bro. Like a
It would
Minecraft
have been
server for
fun.
graduation.
Yeah, that would have been so cool. But I mean,
Bound.
so,
I,
garbanzo beans.
so without further ado, I guess we can start with our. Okay, first I want to talk about your mindset and basically what you were thinking going into high school, and then we
Oh,
can
okay.
pick it up from there.
Right. So I think this is actually that's actually a very good way to start it off because for me, what I really visualized as my 4 years of high school, when I was in middle school was something very picturesque and something that's very depicted in the movies, right? You go in there and everybody looks 26-year-old because in movies and TV shows, and you either become the bully or you get bullied. uh, I thought it would be a lot of parties, a lot of uh, sports and stuff like that. There is some truth to it, but one thing that I feel that would calm everybody down is that there aren't that many bullies. I would say,
Yeah.
or
I
or
agree
maybe
with
I
that.
was the bully. I don't know. I might have been, but but I've never been bullied in high school. Like I never had that experience because I think for me as a person, I could really adapt to everybody.
Uh-huh.
Where I could like how we have certain groups, right? We have like small circles, right?
Uh-huh.
And like lunch or like even in your classes, how the nerdy kids or like the the popular kids or like whatever, and with me, I feel like I can get along with almost everybody because I've experienced the nerdy side, I've experienced the popular side, I've experienced the the sporty sides, and I feel like if you just put your hand in everything, you'd be okay. And the one thing that I would say is that most people there are nice. I
Exactly,
would
yeah.
say
I would say too.
for me, like you shouldn't be afraid of people because they're just human beings.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I say with the biggest thing that I learned because like what you said, my first mindset was it was like a movie. It should have been like a TV show or something like that. That was not the case. But what I would really suggest for everyone to do is to make connections in high school
Right, right,
because
right.
l- talk to as many people as you can, learn about everybody, actually be genuinely nice to people because that can get you a long way. But yeah, so I want to talk about things like later, but I want to hear your opinion about like what your mindset was going to high school.
Right, right. And this is actually referring back to our actually this is the second time we're recording
Yeah.
this bull because the first time it didn't go so well because I was
Imagine not downloading the thing that I told you to download, but
my bad. Alright, so basically, yeah, referring back to it, I you don't know it, but referring back to it, I said basically my mindset going into high school was that I was already smart because growing up in an Asian household, growing up in an Asian country where grades meant everything, you were constantly up on your academia, and anything lower than an A minus or an A would practically mean your downfall. So I didn't go into high school. I did.
son.
Yeah, I didn't go into high school with that student mentality where I was supposed to learn in high school, but I came in all cocky and high minded, thinking that I was already smart, which is, it turned out to be incredibly terrible because I ended up not caring about school because I thought I was already smart and I didn't take as much opportunity as I would have wanted to take. For example, I was actually invited to be part of Arista or National Honor Society. I didn't take it because I thought I didn't need it, but looking back at it, I should have taken it. At least it would have been a really good thing to add to my resume or to my to my resume. And those talent shows and school dances, I didn't really go to it because either one, ego told me that I was too good for it, or two, ego told me that ego was preserving me, like I was preserving myself. So I didn't take any of those chances.
Wow, I actually didn't. Right. Okay. So I didn't actually get that from you because yeah, because you've never told me that. Like this is like I know we recorded this before, but you never actually told me that that's how your mind works. Like, oh, ego kind of said that I was kind of better for, like, I was kind of too good for like Aristotle, or I was too good for like high school parties and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and like the events. But for me, I don't know what it is about me. Like, um, I really like just trying new things. Because I feel like for the most part of my childhood, I really didn't try anything new. I stuck to one thing. I used to play CS:GO 24/7. I have like over like 2,000 something hours in like two or three accounts
Uh huh.
on CS:GO, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and I was just no lifing that game 100%. I used to do like writing on the side, like just like um and I never went out, and I just did that same routine every single day. I go to school, I go back home, I play CS:GO, I write, and I barely did homework. Like I wasn't that too into academics, like even when I was a little kid. Um, but after that, I kind of realized that I had to change for high school. Right? I was like, let me rebrand myself.
Yeah,
Let
yeah.
me change about how I want to look at myself because I hated myself. Let me tell you, actually, I didn't tell you guys the whole story about what my mindset was going to high school.
Uh huh.
My mindset was I didn't get any girls at all in middle school. I used to like a bunch of girls in middle school. I went to IS 73. If you guys wait, didn't you go to IS
Yeah,
73 too?
yeah, I
You
went
did.
to 73 as
So
well.
yeah, we both went to 73. But we were in different academies, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
I was
so
in
and
Bradbury
every girl
where the smart ones were, you feel me?
I was in Pulitzer, so I'm not. But yeah, so basically, I kind of um, there were a lot of girls that I liked at the time, but I never really knew how to step up. And I was always the funny kid. I was always the kid who like, oh, he's the funny kid. Like he would never like whatever like, oh like me or whatever, or
No,
I would
yeah.
never be able to like him or
I
whatever,
feel
right?
you. I feel you. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So after that, and I was a skinny kid. I was like 100. No, I was like 100 pounds or 115 pounds, or maybe less, like 95 pounds or something like that.
Oh.
I was a small, skinny, short Asian kid, uh, still in ESL because I think I came in like second grade. I don't know why I was still in ESL, but yeah. Um, but after that, I wanted to rebrand myself. I'm like, yo, I'm not getting any girls, and like, damn, like I hate this because when you're a kid, you're like, I want girls,
You
because
want
I've been
everything. Yeah,
seeing a lot of
yeah, yeah.
people, yeah, because
Hormones.
like I've been seeing a lot of people like kissing in the hallways. There's some girl got pregnant. I'm like, yo, I don't know, like that shit's kind of cool, you know what I'm saying? But so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna change myself. So by the time I went to high school, we had this thing. It was like morning recreation or something, right? And
Yeah,
down
yeah, yeah, yeah.
where you could go into the weight room and you could start working out. So me and my friend Matthew,
Bro, I should have did
um,
that. Oh my goodness. Alright.
yeah, I think did I tell you about it? I don't know. No, I'm pretty sure I like kind of told you a little bit,
I
but
think so. I think
I
so.
don't think you wanted to go. Yeah, I think you were like a little on the ego-ish side. But I want to see myself change, so I researched everything. I got super passionate about going to the gym, and I researched every night on like how to do this better, how to do that better. But the most important thing that I did was I wanted to do something, and I did it,
Yeah, huh?
right?
Uh-huh.
So I woke up every morning earlier than everybody else. I started second period, but I went
Wait, wait, let me ask
before.
you this. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
When you said you wanted to change and you said you wanted to research, you went ahead and researched how to do this better, how to do that better. What did you start
Mhm.
first, doing or learning?
First I decided that I wanted to do it, so I looked up on videos and stuff like that, right, just to get myself motivated. And then once I got motivated, when I heard the opportunity to go into like you can go into the morning recreation, whatever, that the gym is open. Somebody told me about it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. So the next day, I woke up super early. I think it was before first period, so it was like at 6 o'clock or something, like six something. Oh no no no! It was at 7 o'clock
Yeah, yeah.
on the dot, right? So I got there 7 o'clock, and we would work out for one period, and that I couldn't do one pull up before, dude, and now I'll be doing like 15, 17, 20, and it's crazy how one after you take that first step and you fall, the thing is falling in love with it. That's the
Yeah,
thing. If you
yeah,
fall
that's
in
a
love
fact.
with it,
That's a
you will do
fact.
everything that you can to get yourself to where you want to go. Because if you don't really want it, you're gonna make excuses. If you really want it, you're gonna do everything in your power to do that one thing,
That's a
right?
fact.
I
Yeah.
hated I hated waking up in the morning. I hated going to the gym because um it was like just so what is it?
Dreadful.
Just like dreadful because you go in, you're sore, and plus I have the whole rest of the day to do work too,
That's a whole
I
fact.
have
Yeah.
yeah, I go to the gym right in the morning, and then I don't have breakfast, and then I do the entire yeah, I do schoolwork, right, and that's really exhausting on my body and my mind. So I really hated it, but at the same time I loved getting the results. I loved that I was doing something with my life, and I just kept going.
Yeah. It's I
So
feel
yeah.
like it's also the nostalgia of waking up in the morning. It's that ritual that I feel like gets people motivated. For example, your morning routine would consist of then going into the gym first thing in the morning, and for a lot of people, that one thing that you start in the beginning of your mornings is actually kind of like a cornerstone habit where everything hangs on to that, say, that habit of going into the gym, and then everything else just falls. It's kind of like a domino where if you push the first habit, then everything else will follow. For example, for me, like my morning habit in the beginning of the morning would be to read, and once I read, that kind of like pushes everything else to go along, to go smoothly in my day. What do you think about that? Oh, you
You
know
mean
Matt, Matt Diavella.
so
You know Matt Diavella.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
his ritual first thing in the morning is making coffee, and once he did, once he when he quit caffeine for 30 days, everything like his mornings became dreadful because you took that one cornerstone habit from his morning routine or morning ritual, and that's for you, right? Your morning ritual would consist of going to the gym or at least working out.
And you're saying that because I did that, something dreadful that I didn't like, that it powered me through the entire day because I did something productive already in the beginning of the
Yeah,
day.
yeah, that too, that too, that too.
Okay, so I don't want to get too deep into this, but basically it's all about uncomfortability and habit. So
Yes.
I read this book. It's called The Power of Habits or something like that,
Yeah, yeah,
and
the power of
I think
habit. Charles
The
Duhigg.
Power of Habits. And basically, um, what you have to do to create a habit is first, damn, I forgot it. I think it's like first you have to want it, obviously, and then it's doing the habit, doing the routine, and then you get a reward, right?
Yes.
Just like brushing your teeth. I think they had a story about how in the old days people didn't really brush their teeth because they didn't like um, really value it, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people had gingivitis or something like that. And what Pepsodent did, or some some toothpaste company, right?
Yeah.
What they did was they showed, you know, the habit, the routine. You do the routine, and then you get the award. You get
Yep.
what I'm saying?
Uh huh.
I'm pretty sure I'm missing one of the key components too. There was three, but one of them was doing the actual routine, and then you get a reward afterwards. So when you start doing that every day, right, and you start seeing the rewards, you're like, oh damn, this is so good. Like I'm doing the routine and I'm actually getting something from it. You start loving it, and even though that routine sucks, even though you hate it, you get into that habit, and it starts becoming okay for you.
Uh
Now
huh.
this uncomfortability thing I'm talking about, right? This actually works with for me for working out, because the thing is you're not doing the same routine every single time when you're going to the gym. You got to change it up,
Yeah.
because uh we are beings of habit. We are creatures of habit, right?
Yeah.
And our minds are lazy, like I said. So if you keep doing the same thing, right, and we're also like adaptive humans, right?
Yeah.
We're adaptive.
Yeah.
So basically if you keep doing the same workouts, you're not going to get the same you're not going to get the most out of working out, because you're just doing the same thing and your body gets used to
Yeah.
it. So you have to keep changing things up, keep changing up what your routines are, keep changing up what your workouts are,
Yeah.
and so you get better at it.
And I feel
So
like
once okay, yeah, go
also
ahead.
like as a student, if for example, whatever it is that you're doing that's dreadful, think of how you can make it a little bit better each time you do it. For example, whenever we start school, we got to start extremely early. And for some people, waking up early is a drag. But what if you did it and you woke up just a little bit earlier just so nobody, for example, because for me, I hated waking up in the morning like you. And for me, what I did was, what if I tried to wake up early, because waking up early for me was a dread because I'm waking up to noise and I'm waking up to people already awake and moving, and it was kind of like chaotic in my house whenever I woke up. So I decided to wake up a little bit earlier when nobody else was up. And for me, that what do you call the solemnity and the basically being alone is so good because one, I decide how my day starts and I decide how my day will go on from here. And that bus ride alone in the middle at 6 a.m. in the morning, where the sun is just barely up and the cold wind hits your face every time you're just walking out the house and nobody's around, for me that's better. So that making basically what I'm trying to say is if you're trying to if you need to do something dreadful, try to make it a little bit better and tweak it so that it suits you. You get what I'm saying?
Basically taking control of what you can take control of
Yeah.
to make that dreadful thing a little bit better
Yeah, basically, yeah.
and more efficient,
Yeah.
you know. I think we should talk about, since we just talked about how our mindset was going in, right?
Yeah.
I think we should talk about, because high school is about growth. I feel like 100% it's about
Learning
growth.
too. Yeah, yeah,
You go from being a child into literally a man, you know.
yeah.
um however you think of it, either like through sexual activity or like through just learning and do
Man,
experiencing
my
things.
man, my man's just said sexual activity.
Okay, because a lot of people define it certain ways. Oh, you have sex, you become a man, stuff like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah. I feel
like
you.
you grow, or knowledge, and you, because of your knowledge and your experiences, you become a man, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to define it. Whatever it is, you will get it. Just don't worry, you will get it. But um I just want to talk about how, from the start, from when we went, coming into high school, to how we were in the middle of high school. So how was your experience in the middle of high school?
In the middle of
Like,
high school.
let's say like junior year, I feel like would be, the best
Alright,
year to
well,
talk about.
I want to talk about my mistakes because like there's so many.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
absolutely.
so number one mistake was of course going into high school with an egotistical mindset and not staying a student. Second biggest mistake that I made in high school was rushing into a relationship. Because bro, you was there throughout the whole roller coaster ride, and you
Mhm.
know the stress and the BS that I went through because I was rushing into relationships willy nilly. First of all, you're not in high school to start a relationship. You're in high school to learn. Relationships are a byproduct. Shoot, a friendship is a relationship. Your teacher and you have a relationship. You have a teacher student relationship. But don't. I feel like a lot of people have this Netflix mentality where they just think high school is kind of like a tall girl or some other high school where the guy gets the girl every time in high school and they fall in love and then they end up marrying. But often more often than not, you won't find the right girl in high school. So that's my biggest mistake, is that rushing into relationships, and actually rushing into relationships will actually damage your GPA in a way, because well, first of all, you're putting a lot of effort into your relationship. So for me, when I put a lot of effort into my relationship, I don't put as much effort then into my actual academia. So
In academic.
it can be connected. For example, um, you and your partner say you guys have a study group with other friends, so that it's not just you and there's not much emotional attention to the point where you just want to pin each other to the wall. But a lot, like a group study, that actually can work. But a
Pin
lot
each other to the wall.
a
I
lot
mean,
a lot of good work, a lot of great work is actually done in solitude. So I mean, I don't know, maybe you are one of those blessed souls who are just lucky enough to find the right girl in high school. But for the 99.99% of you who's out there, just don't. That's my advice. Third, and actually, it's not really that important, but third is trying to be the coolest kid in the block. It's not going to happen. You won't be the coolest kid in the block, because first of all, there will always be someone with bigger drip than you. There will always be someone with the newest easy more other than you. So, and you are in high school to learn, not to be the flashiest dresser. But I get it. I'm actually referring to my article that I wrote today. I get it. You can feel like that because I mean you are in high school for only once in a lifetime. Might as well make the most of it. I mean, your life, the world is your runway, so might as well drip while you can. But at the same time, nobody really cares about what you wear. You feel me, Farrell? Because
Yeah.
I mean, uh, I started wearing simpler clothes because in the first half of high school, so freshman and sophomore year, I was really dressing really fancy and dressing to the point where I have no idea what I was wearing anymore. I was wearing streetwear and K-pop bullcrap.
I didn't know what you were wearing
Yeah,
at the time.
exactly, right?
What?
Looking back at it in retrospect, I wanted to smack myself right across the face and just tell myself nobody really cares. So what I did in the majority of my senior year, I just started wearing the same thing practically almost every day, and nobody cared. Like nobody said anything to me. Nobody gave me their thoughts about, oh, aren't you weren't you wearing the same clothes yesterday? Nobody said anything. It was just everybody for their own selves, and that is one takeaway from that, is that nobody cares about what you look other than yourself. So might as well just simple. It'll not only be better for your pocket because you're dressing simpler and you have a simpler wardrobe, but it'll also give you more time in your mornings to have to basically think about more pressing matters other than, choosing what clothes to wear. So those are my three biggest mistakes going into high school or in high school.
I I don't 100% agree with you, but I do agree with some of the things that you said. Like the last point that you made, that you're not trying to be the coolest kid there, is 100% a fact. I I kind of have contradicting thoughts.
Yeah.
Um, what is it called? Before you said you're there to make you're there to learn and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For me, I wasn't really learning a whole lot in high school.
Yeah.
Not academics wise. I was learning more on how to on personal growth and socializing. For
Uh huh.
me, because I used to be the worst person to talk to in the world. Like I didn't know how to handle situations. I didn't know how to what is it called? I didn't know how to really sense like the tension in the room or anything like that. I didn't know social awareness. I didn't have a lot of that. So I made it my goal to start talking to a lot more people, to be friends with a lot more people, to know just a lot more people,
Uh huh.
so that I can up my socializing game. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you.
So for me, yeah, I was there. I kept my grades up. Okay, I've kept like a 90 plus average the entirety of like three or 4 years. Okay,
Yeah.
and
And then
I feel
COVID
like that's
hit.
okay for me. And I ruined it this year, this last semester. But
It's okay. You can thank COVID for that.
yeah, I'll blame it, but it's not really its fault. It's my fault too. But okay, so what I was trying to say was, um, okay, yeah, you go to school to learn, right? But you don't really learn a whole lot if you're not, because school is not for everybody. It's just not
Yeah,
it's
yeah, I
just not
agree
for
with that
everybody.
too. I agree with that too.
And for me, I'm not an academics person. I'm more of a creative, free-minded kind of hands-on,
Yeah.
um, just doing things,
Practical
getting right
person.
into it,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I'm just a creative, I'm a creative,
Uh huh.
and that's not what I'm trying to do. Like I've always been uh, lower in my academics than my like drawing, dancing, singing, um, playing instruments, stuff like that. Academics was always second to me because I was never really good at it, and I was always trying to play on my strengths, right? And in high school, that kind of helped me out too in reaching out to new people because I do the music thing, I do the sports thing, I do
Yeah.
the academics thing, I do all three. So that got me to learn a lot more about people, and like I talked to a lot more people. So I finally was able to learn about social awareness
But I
and
think
got
I
more
think you
confident.
actually I think you actually brought up a really good point, and that's I feel like you made your strength into a weakness. You made your weakness into a strength by intertwining the two, because you said you were kind of weak in school and you were kind of weak in academia. So what you did was that, wait, give me 1 second. Someone's calling me. Oh, okay. Well, basically, I feel like what you're trying to say is you you intertwined your weakness with your strength by, you said, you're weak in academia. So what you did was you intertwined music with it, and then you joined the talent show. You joined a lot of sports teams. You actually joined the talent show. I know that for a fact. And yeah, I feel like that was a really good point by intertwining what you're weak in with what your, what your strength is.
Yeah, I feel
I
like I
go.
did intertwine them. I wasn't that good at academics, but I wasn't bad either. I wasn't like
Wait,
horrible. I
Farrell,
wasn't.
go
Yeah.
go in a monologue real quick, cause someone's calling me real quick. So go in a monologue.
Okay, so basically, throughout like my junior year, I think I guess I was 16 about I was about 16 at the time, and I was really learning myself, figuring myself out, and I tried a lot of different new things. And what I really advise everybody to do is to definitely try new things. For me, I hated reading, and I recently went through like I guess I wouldn't say a heartbreak. I would say like rejection. I got rejected by somebody, and I feel like that really took a toll on me because I never really got rejected on things. Once I started working out and stuff, people just really liked me, and like because I started um just being so nice to people and just going out with friends and stuff like that, people just really knew who I was and what kind of person I was, and they really were attracted to my personality, I guess. And I was never rejected in anything that I wanted, and I guess that made me kind of entitled into and kind of spoiled that couldn't really take rejection. It was just something that I never did. But after this one girl, she's still in my life, and I still kind of like her. But after her, I kind of went into a self improvement kind of campaign, like a whole workout montage, like a Goku training kind of montage, and basically, uh, I went and tried to improve upon myself. So what I did was, um, I tried to figure out what I could do about it. Oh, how to get girls, stuff like that. I watched videos. And then those videos recommended me, books. And then I was like, I hate reading books so much because in school, when they tell you to read a book, there's really nothing behind it. It's just like read this book, and they make it a chore.
That's a whole
You don't
fact,
want this to
bro.
be a chore.
Yeah.
You want to do it for you, right? You want to do it because you want to learn about it.
Uh huh.
And books are stuff. And I realized quickly after that was that books have the answers to everything.
Yeah.
You just have to
Yo,
know what book to
real
choose.
quick. I just wanted to add to that. A really good friend of mine, or yeah, a really good friend of mine said, "This is a books are the basically the compilation of the greatest and brightest minds of the world. In a book lies like Ryan Holiday said, his the time and effort he puts into his books, if you would convert that to his rate in terms of consulting, would cost millions of dollars, but you can buy it for like $15. Or actually, if you don't have the money, you can go to a library or go online, and if you're really creative, then you can search for how you can get it for free or library. And Ryan Holiday was actually in an interview saying that a fan of his, or a lot of people were actually telling him that they stole his book from a library or from a bookstore. And in like on the other hand, you're like, well, I mean, at least you didn't steal money or something that would hurt you, but rather something that has a positive ROI on your life. Yeah, I just wanted to add that in.
Yeah. So no, I completely 100% agree with that. And right. So I started getting into reading a lot of books, and I think we're gonna do a little bit of like book recommendations later, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah.
But basically, what I'm trying to say is that improve upon yourself the only way you know how. First, go on YouTube, and if YouTube recommends you something, right? Books are just like YouTube, but more detailed, extensive, and takes longer, right? There are summaries on YouTube, but I would suggest reading the entire thing because it might actually hit you somewhere in a place that you needed to be hit at. Um, on YouTube you could find a lot of book recommendations. If you just if you have a question to something, you go on Google, right? But here's the thing: if you want an extensive research kind of based answer, go read a book. It will tell you everything that you need to know. And basically, that's how I improved upon myself, my mindset, and evolving into the person that I wanted to be. Not the person that I am, because I feel like I can continue on evolving, because the thing is, no matter how much knowledge you have, you never have all the knowledge in the world.
That's
And
true. That's true. Yeah.
right, and all you have to do is you pick out the ones that you like, and you put it into your own life. You know,
Mm-hmm.
pick out what's right. And yeah, so after I tried reading books and stuff like that, after I gained the knowledge, I did the things that I had to do, that the books told me to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 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 I feel you. I feel
So
you.
like how to be confident and how to do this. There are specific step by step actions that you can take so
Yeah,
that you
and
can
you
implement it in
don't
your real
just
life.
read a book to read it or to like stack
Right.
up on books that you've read. No, you read books for the knowledge, and that you act on that knowledge.
Yeah. So then you whatever you learn, apply the thing that you learn. You know,
Yeah.
you don't just read a book just to read a book, just to say you can read a book. Nobody cares if you read a book or not.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
The fact is that you use the book to learn what you learn and
Yeah.
apply it. So that's just my 2 cents on how I, you know, improved upon myself, self improvement books and stuff like that.
And
So
yeah,
how did you change in your junior year?
I changed in my junior year when you introduced me to self help, bro. No, actually, that was beginning of freshman year when you introduced me to reading books and you started this entrepreneurship club, which was practically it was practically what do you call this? It was
It was whack. Let me tell
no
you
no
that
no no
much.
no. What do you call it when you're trying to get? It was practically rehab. You feel me? And
It was basically an intervention of
it was
like
an intervention, yeah. And basically, what happened was you were basically, I mean, you were putting mindset of what it means to be an entrepreneur, what it means to be a leader, and those types of mindset really inspired me to actually improve myself as well. So, but I got into it by reading a lot of business books, and then I transitioned from business books to philosophy books, and a lot of, say, personal development instead of actual just business and how to manage money. So I read books like How to Win Friends and Influence People, Ego is the Enemy, The Obstacle is the Way, The 48 Laws of Power. So stuff like that. And that's practically how I changed. And you don't just read books to read it, like we both said earlier. It's to apply the knowledge. No, it doesn't matter whether or not you have um, read like 10,000 books. If you read one book and you put it to heart and you apply it, that's better than having read 10,000 books and not using any of the knowledge and not acting upon what you learn.
What was that quote from Bruce Lee talking about how I'm more afraid of the person who trains one kick 1,000 times than a person who trained 1,000 kicks one time? Something like that, right? And it applies the same thing here, you know? If you just read 10,000 books and not apply it, what's the point of that? When you can read one book and really apply it into your life and really become that book, and really apply it into your life, and so that you can become the best person that you can be, you know? Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
But yeah, so
All
did
right,
you
so
have
like
anything to add?
I feel like we touched upon a lot, and we've been talking for 40 minutes. I guess it's time to wrap things up by summarizing what we talked about. So we
I feel
talked
like we
about
should talk about
yeah,
briefly about our senior year. I feel like, like
senior
the
year.
ending,
See,
how everything wrapped up. I guess it is a summary too of our year, of our four
oh
years, and
yeah,
also high school and this podcast overall, right?
yeah, yeah. So I feel like productivity really played a major role in both of our senior years because I mean when that COVID hit, it really took a toll on the both of us and basically everyone in the class of 2020 because we had to transition from physical learning to online classes and it was practically unprecedented. So I wanted to talk about going into something that you were never expecting to happen. So for me, what happened was you had that 1 week of just break, and then the week after you were supposed to transition now to online learning. So what happened to me, what I did was I took that 1 week and practically let myself go. I did whatever it is that I wanted. I went to sleep at 2 a.m. and then I woke up at 2 p.m. I practically watched and binged Netflix series. So basically, what I did was I wasn't preparing for what I had to do, which was online learning. I didn't prepare anything. I didn't research how to transition from physical learning to online classes. I didn't research on productivity hacks, and I didn't research on anything. I basically just let myself go. And then that backfired on me because when I actually, entered online learning or online classes, I had the wrong mentality, I had the wrong mindset, and basically it hurt my grades, it hurt my productivity, basically hurt that whole month of March and April. But May, I actually started picking it up and I said, you know what, this isn't working. So then I prepared myself. I learned new things. I learned productivity hacks and I learned how to manage my time better. And with God's help, I actually graduated, and we both did. We both graduated with honors, my guy. So I thank God for that.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I definitely let myself loose. I failed two classes, but I picked them back up by the end. Um, Everything else I kept at a 95 and above, 98, I think. But just two classes, my AP classes, advanced placements classes, I kind of let myself go because they were just like a lot of work. I was doing the same thing. I was binge watching freaking Netflix shows. Like I think I binge watched Avatar like 4 times, and like Korra and stuff like that. And I stopped working out. Like the quarantine and being at home all day really hit you because it's like now you have no agenda. You can't go out. So, going out kind of for me is kind of like the start of your day. So if you just stay at home all day, you're not really starting your day. You get what I'm saying? It's just like you're just on your bed and always you're just always sleepy or lazy or watching something or doing something that isn't productive.
That's
And
a whole
that kind of
fact.
is a hassle for me. I love going out because it just kind of indicates for me that, oh, hey, this is the start of your day. You're going to do something productive today.
Yeah, yeah.
But because I didn't have that in my head, I had to kind of adjust in my brain what the start of my day was. And once I start to realize like, hey, I gotta change. I gotta stop doing this. I'm getting a little bit chubby. So
Man
started waking
says
up
he's
at 4:30 in the
he's
morning.
starting to get chubby, boy.
Everybody says that, but I really did. All right, to my standards. Um, but yeah, so I started waking up at 4:30, and I went for a run, and then I worked out too. I bought a pull-up bar type thing,
Yeah, yeah.
and in my house, and I started holding myself accountable. So I started posting it online. I started posting it on Instagram and stuff like that because I wanted to. First of all, I'm a very, I guess, show-offy person.
Yeah.
Cocky, confident, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So I like to post things that I feel can make me, how people can view me as, or like see, like I want people to be like, wow, he's working, like he's doing his stuff,
Yeah, and that's
and
actually a really good tool to like have somebody to keep you, say, what do you call this? Say accountable. So when you're posting something and you've been doing it for a week or a month, and you suddenly just stop, people are gonna start asking questions like, "Oh, wait, why didn't you do this or why
what
didn't you do
happened,
that? Yeah,
yeah.
what happened?" Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing. But I've gotten back into it. Except for the couple of like weeks, like 2 weeks. I've just been going to a bunch of graduation parties, and it's not good for the soul. It's not good. I've met a lot of people though. That's one good thing from it, I guess.
Fun,
But
fun, fun.
yeah, I
I
think we
mean,
should wrap this up.
it's good to like let yourself go once in a while, you know,
Yeah.
like once in a while.
Thank you for you know calming my mind a little bit. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, basically, I just want to
Yeah, I
wrap
can
this
go
up
ahead.
by saying, if you're entering a new semester or a new school year, one I would say is have the right mindset going into it. You're not going there to be flashy. You're not going into any semester to be the best. You're going there to learn. I mean, you are kind of in a way going there to be the best you, but not the best in the school. You're going there to be the best you that you can be, to learn
Mhm.
and to grow. And another thing that I would say is to develop good productivity, say, systems. I mean, you can watch 10,000 videos on productivity and how to manage your time, but ultimately it boils down to what you tailor your productivity into. You can watch, I mean, I've been watching Thomas Frank lately, but his his system is practically way too detailed, and it's not for me. Matt Diavella's system works better for me. It's more calm, it's more suited for me, so that's what I use. And basically just tailor your productivity and your time management to what your uh, needs and wants are. And third is to, develop good habits. Develop, taking care of yourself, hygiene, moisturize your face, because you don't want to be going, I mean, sure, you don't want to be flashy, but at the same time you don't want to be going into high school with
Looking crusty.
like zits all over your face. So take care of yourself, work out, and basically, like I said, be the best you that you can be. What
Right.
about you? What are your 2 cents?
Basically, a little bit from my summary, I would say, uh, always have a beginner's mindset, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Go into things with just an open mind and experience everything that you have to, because you will be afraid most of the time because your friends won't do it. Your friends might not do it with you, or whatever. But here's the thing: anything new that you're gonna try is gonna be scary.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Right. If you get that feeling of fear and scaredness, run to it. Make it your comfortable home. Make it your home. Because once you do that, you will become unstoppable. You won't be afraid to go up and talk to people. You won't be afraid to try new things. Once you try these new things, what if you were an aspiring musician and you didn't join the music club or something? You know? Like what kind of
Yeah,
stupid
that's a
crap
whole
is that?
fact. That's a whole fact, because that's
Exactly.
practically one thing that I wish I would have did, is to take action on what I actually wanted instead of letting ego step in. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
For me, I was a skinny ass kid, but I wanted to try wrestling. So, I started wrestling and I got bigger. So, and I was stop being afraid of either getting slammed or stuff like that. Like it becomes your body is just and your mind is just so good at adapting at things that you will be so freaking surprised what mental capabilities and thresholds you can push. So I would say for me, if you didn't learn anything from today, take this one thing: go to fear. If you fear
yeah.
something,
Uh huh.
do it.
I like that. I like that. All right, well, I guess that's gonna wrap it up for today's episode. And thank you to anyone who's actually watching or actually viewing this
Listening.
and listening. Yeah, and book recommendations. You got any on the top of your mind, bro? And also, yeah, just book recommendations, and I guess we can wrap it up from there.
Okay, book recommendations that I got is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. That is the first book that I've ever read, and self-help, and it really pushed me off from there because it's very easy to read. There's audiobooks to listen to. You can get a free audiobook when you join Audible, I think, and that's how I did it. And then I spiraled into The Power of Habit because I was just a person who didn't have good habits and a person who was very wild and like did things sporadically. So that was my question, and I had a problem, and I answered it with a book. And another one that I would say for those of you who are nice guys, because nice guys always finish last. Uh,
Hi, kid.
read Emotional First Aid. It will help you throughout the long run with not just relationships, but I mean not just relationships with a spouse or a potential mate, I would say, but really just in your life overall, getting rejected from a job, um, by your parents, stuff like that. Just it will help you along the way with your emotional, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, going into high school, you're a teenager full of hormones and emotions. So I guess
Yeah.
yeah, that those two books are actually
Please read
really
it.
good. Yeah,
Please
please
read it.
read those two books. And for me, my I guess since you gave two, I'll give two as well.
Well, I gave three.
I mean, I'll give Ego is the Enemy because that is my favorite book at the moment. I mean, I've read it like a few months ago, but and it's still that saying is actually taped on my wall. Ego is the enemy. Know that you know nothing, because it's such a powerful mantra to stay humble, to stay a student, to stay learning, and to stay hungry, and basically to fall in love with your work rather than the result. And my second book going into high school, because I mean, you're going to be dealing with a lot of fake people, you're going to be dealing with a lot of snakes, you're going to be dealing with dreadful teachers. I mean, as much as we want high school to be like High School Musical or something out of a Netflix series, there are a lot of, I would say, villains in here. So I would say read the 48 Laws of Power. At least you'll know how to have power in yourself, but also how to spot signs of power in other people and how to say deflect that against them, and basically how to deal with people in general is the 48 Laws of Power. And yep, that is gonna wrap it up for the first episode of When the Bell Rings. Thank you guys so much for listening. Any wrapping thoughts, my guy?
No, I think that's it. Thank you guys for watching or listening, I guess.
Alright.
I hope you guys have a nice and productive
Yes,
day.
be safe because COVID still exists. As many things and as much things have happened in 2020, yes, COVID still exists. So please be safe, be wary, and do wear a mask when you are going outside.
Don't go to
And
parties like me.
and if you guys want to check out my YouTube channel, I will post a link in the description below. Website will be post. I will be posting my website soon.
Okay.
Oh yeah, my bad. I muted the mic. So yeah, basically my YouTube channel will be linked on the description below, as well as my website with my articles and my blog posts. And yeah, that's it for this episode. See you guys and be safe.
Take care.
Oh,